afternoon. Grab your cup. It's time for Coffee on the Coast. Good afternoon and welcome to Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host this afternoon, Tina Prigge. Welcome back to the show, Sharon Verbeten from the Manitowoc Public Library, and a big thank you to Seehafer News for sponsoring this episode. Sharon, welcome back to Coffee on the Coast.
Good afternoon. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. It is a great day here on the coolest coast to welcome you back because you're with the Manitowoc Public Library and we're talking about a new program that you're implementing there. I'm going to put up a quick picture. All right, folks, we are talking about MESSY MARVINS. This is going to be an artistic, creative activity for your babies and your preschoolers. Sharon, let's tell parents and caregivers what they need to know.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you, Tina. I've done this program in my previous position for several years, and it's always been a huge hit, right? So we kind of are going to turn our meeting room into a baby art studio, and we supply all the supplies and get it all set up for you. You don't have to do any of that. You just bring your toddler, baby, young preschooler, and you supply the kid and the creativity, right? And then they can go nuts and make a masterpiece.
Cool. Let's talk about some of the ways kids are getting creative, because before we went live, you mentioned that there are kind of different levels, right? So when we talk MESSY MARVINS and you see this picture, I was like, wow, how are you cleaning up that kid before you go home? But you were assuring me that there's multiple different levels. So whatever works into, a parent or caregiver's plan for the day, you've got it covered.
Yes, and that's important, right? So, come prepared. We'll obviously have some shirts and smocks and stuff to cover up their clothes. But, when I've done this in the past, what I will have are different stations, right? So if you are a little tentative and you don't want your child to get too messy, I have a Neat Nelly station. So that's going to have things like Play-Doh and stickers and crayons and things that are a little bit neater, where the kids can still exercise their creativity, just not get full on messy, right? So then we have a not so messy area where that will have things like daubers and markers and things, hand stamps that still have ink and could get a little messier, but not full on MESSY Marvin. If you don't mind your kid getting messy for the day or messy for the morning, come to the MESSY Marvins table, where we're going to have, it'll be washable tempera paint, washable, non-toxic, will come out of clothes. But if your kid wants to do some good old-fashioned finger painting, we will have brushes, of course, and other tactile things that they can use to create their masterpiece. And then you can let your masterpiece dry and your child dry and take that home. It'll run for about an hour or so, but you can come in, make a masterpiece, and leave. It's just going to be, kind of a self-directed day. I'm there to help and provide the supplies and the support, but really just have fun with your child. And you may not have all of these art supplies at home, right? I mean, art supplies are pricey, and you may not have the paints at home or have the space or the time or the energy to do it at home.
Or want to get messy at home.
So come on down to the library and do it. And we're happy to have them engage in that way.
Okay, cool. This is MESSY MARVINS. It's Friday, April 14th at 10 a.m. There is no registration required. Is the anticipation then that the adult that's with the child kind of participates with them, can give them guidance?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I've done it in the past, and really the adults get really into it. If it's, for example, I've had kids make birthday cards for a family member, or if it's near a holiday, maybe a holiday card. I've had some of them, it really, the important thing to remember is we're not just like throwing a bunch of art supplies out and just saying go nuts, although we are. There are a lot of, developmental things at play here, early literacy skills that can be incorporated into this. So a child learning how to hold a crayon and write their name is a really important early literacy skill that they can practice, right? How to hold a paintbrush, how to mix blue and yellow to make a new color, green. So these are all really important child developmental skills that we hope we can foster through this creative event.
Ah, that's so fun and sneaky. I love how sneaky it is, right?
You're learning. You're having fun, but you're learning. right?
Fantastic. That's a fantastic ulterior motive, is to learn skills. So,
That's
and
always our motive at the library, Tina. We always have these crazy ulterior motives of wanting kids to learn something and still have fun. It's what we
yeah.
do.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, so, I'm an adult midway through my life, and I still fondly remember so many of the activities I participated in as a kid at the library.
And probably maybe your mom or your dad still has that artwork you did, or I remember my parents even still had like a little pottery thing I did a long time ago. And I mean, these things are memory making, right? So whether the child is too young and they just slap down a few drops of paint, I mean, it's really all about engaging with your child. So I thank you for mentioning that. It's just as important for the adult, right? um, how do you engage with your child at a young age means everything. Your voice, how you interact with them, how you praise them for the work that they do, right? And that's why it's really, self-directed. It's not, okay, we're going to draw a picture of a boat. It's really all about their creativity and what they can do at the level they're at.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And for the messy Marvin part, you did also mention that there is kind of a cleanup station. So it's not like you
Of
have to take the
course.
kid and go home very carefully. You can
No, so
manage everything.
it's interesting. So we will have a cleanup area, we'll have a tarp and that kind of thing. I don't think we'll have a hose to hose them down, but um I mean, literally I have had a parent strip the child down to the diaper and let them paint. And again, it's all non-toxic and water, it'll come off in water. So it's all about having fun. And again, I understand the hesitancy. You don't want kids to get too dirty at home, but so let's just have a great play morning. And if it goes well, I'd love to offer it on a fairly regular basis because it's so much fun.
Yeah, and it's also so fun to not only be doing that with your child, but to be doing that with other adults doing that with their children, right? Where it becomes just kind of this extended play date in this great atmosphere.
I'm glad you mentioned that because honestly, I have seen friendships occur between the moms or the dads, where it's like, hey, do you want to go? We'll take the kid to McDonald's after, or I've seen families come and then they didn't know this family, but they met them. They have children the same ages, and I think that's happened to all of us. So it's a great adult play date, if you will, to meet other parents and caregivers, and yeah, really fun for all ages, I think.
Yeah, a great community connection point. Okay, so here's the big question. If somebody's feeling like super creative and they start and they've got this awesome Messy Marvin base, can they take what they're working on and then move up and use the daubers and markers and then maybe move
Oh,
up and have stickers and
they move all the time. I mean, in my past experiences, yes, you can move from table to table. Kids just kind of whatever they want to do kind of thing. I mean, the hardest thing for me is making sure we don't get Play-Doh smushed into the rug. And, I don't know, I'm fairly new here at Manitowoc Public Library, so hopefully they'll let me do this again. And hopefully our wonderful maintenance staff will not kill me after we get a little messy, but I think it's going to be great fun. And again, I hope it's a success because I would like to make it an ongoing program.
right. It sounds awesome. Exploring creativity, encouraging kids to explore creativity. Like you said, those early learning literacy skills, that's critical. That sort of sneaky ulterior motive. I love that.
Trust me, I'm no artist, right? So, I mean, I would not be great at doing these things, but for me, it's all about again, the early literacy that I can infuse into this, quiet music in the background, maybe some Disney tunes, and just making it a fun morning for the kids.
Awesome. If people would like more information or have questions, can you tell them where to find it on your website?
Sure. So you can visit our website and manitowoclibrary.org, and we do have our calendar listed and our children's events. So I think it's called Kids. If you click on that, you can get a up-to-date calendar. They can certainly call our children's desk as well, and happy to answer any questions, or just stop by. Check it out, see what it's all about. And like I said, if you just want to observe this time. And see what it's all about. And then maybe next time, maybe in fall, we'll revisit it in fall and see if we get another group. So.
Yeah, and I think you were saying too, there's no time obligation. So if you show
Correct.
up and after 10 minutes, your little is like, done, let's get lunch, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, we know what those attention spans are like, right? So, let's just touch the Play-Doh, great tactile sensory experience. If they show no interest in coloring or art, totally fine. It's just all about the experience, the social experience, as you mentioned too, the social experience of meeting other littles at that age. And another thing that's great about Messy Marvins is learning to share, right? So, like, I want that red crayon. Well, let's share these crayons. So again, great, great modeling for the parents to, help navigate those really tough years.
Yeah, that is awesome. All right, Messy Marvins, Friday, April 14th, 10 a.m., a fun artistic creativity experience for your littles, babies, and preschoolers at Manitowoc Public Library. Sharon, I just so appreciate the cool programming that the Manitowoc Public Library keeps bringing forward. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. We appreciate your telling the masses about what we have to do, and we've got a great lineup coming up for summer, so I hope to be talking with you again soon.
Oh, we'd love to have you back. Hopefully, if the custodial staff doesn't do away with you after this event.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you
Messy
so much.
Marvins.
Messy Marvins. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Coffee on the Coast. Thanks again to Sea Hafer News for sponsoring the show. We'll see you next time on Coffee on the Coast.